camera. I'm using my, not using my phone camera because my phone is just messed up. But I really wanted to be able to make this, and I didn't want to skip a day. I was about to skip a day, but I just, or skip this week, and I just feel like this is beneficial for me to step into my listening, to my inner tuition, and connecting with all of you and being in integrity with that. So here I am. Did my cold plunge today, and I really was in resistance of doing that. The water wasn't even as cold. I mean, it was cold, of course, but I just didn't want to do it. I was in a lot of resistance. But then the moment that I stepped into that space, stepped into that presence of nature, it was just the truest calm, just a really truly calm state that came over me. Yeah, it was really beautiful. But I think the thing that is alive for me today, that's coming up for me, is listening to that inner child. I have been thinking a lot about that this week, about connecting with the little boy inside. That little boy that I've neglected to listen to. To take care of, to play with, to listen to what my inner child needs. Yeah, I was talking with someone I worked with this week, and it's actually a really beautiful conversation, and we were talking about doing the work, the inner work, and he was asking, well, like, what do you do? Everybody talks about doing the work, but like, how do you do the work? And when I think of the work, I think of the self-work. Yeah, it's like, what is that work? It's so nebulous if people don't really know much about it, but it's like, to me, the work is looking at all the things all the things in your inner world that cause you pain. Looking at all those inner things that cause you pain, and then having a conversation with them. Really just sitting with those pains and letting them take you on a journey through self-discovery. And I think with like listening to those pains, coming at it with full love. Full love. There's this really, really amazing stuff that takes a lot of work, but it is called The Work by Byron Katie. And I've found that to be really beneficial because it takes the lens off of other people and puts it on yourself. And the main stuff that the work is about is it's around this worksheet called the Judge Your Neighbor worksheet. And the Judge Your Neighbor worksheet is basically taking the anger that you have for another person or the stresses that you have about another person, and then you think of a moment in time that this has happened, and then you then inquire upon yourself those feelings, and making it less about the person and more about you. And I truly believe that pain never comes from someone else. It always comes from within. You create that pain. Yeah, so all that being said, that conversation I had was good to be able to speak it out loud, because I'm realizing that I have been neglecting the work, and specifically that work. I've been doing other things, but that work in particular is the deep dive. Like, that stuff really gets to the nitty gritty. And but to go back to that inner child, I think that through doing that work, that inner child reveals itself through that. And that inner child keeps coming up for me more and more, that I need to be taking care of him and looking after him, and really asking what he needs to feel safe. Because I don't think that, for whatever reason, he's been feeling safe. Just through the stresses of what's coming up for me in my body and what I'm feeling. And I'm gonna say this out loud, like, I'm not editing these videos, and I'm not going to edit this one, but I have this want of wanting to clip things out that I've just said, but then I'm realizing no, I want to be in the authenticity of this, and the truth of this. And not hide. I don't want to hide anymore of who I am. Yeah. Looking after that little boy inside is what's important right now. I'm feeling what's coming up for me. Love you all. See you next week.